Be ready to get the biggest shock of your life. The Ip Man film series is highly inaccurate, often described as loosely based or practically a complete work of fiction. While the real Ip Man was a genuine Wing Chun grandmaster and the teacher of Bruce Lee, the movies primarily serve as nationalistic action cinema rather than factual biographies. Ip Man never fought a Japanese general in a public duel. While he did refuse to teach Wing Chun to the Japanese military, which eventually forced him to flee Foshan, the climactic fight in the first movie is a cinematic invention. The legendary scene where he defeats 10 Japanese karateka at once is movie poppycock, with no basis in his real life. Moreover, the events of Ip Man 4, including his trip to San Francisco to find a school for his son, and his fight with a U.S. Marine, are entirely fabricated. Historically, Ip Man never set foot in the United States. He never fought the British boxer, the Twister, from Ip Man 2, or a property developer played by Mike Tyson, from Ip Man 3. The films also heavily sanitize or alter his personal history. While actually, the real Ip Man was a police officer for the nationalist Kuomintang Party in Foshan. The movies often skip this, as his political affiliation was the real reason he fled to Hong Kong in 1949 after the communist takeover, not because he was being hunted by the Japanese. While portrayed as a victim of poverty forced into manual labor, like coal mining, he was actually from a wealthy background and worked as a high-ranking officer until the political climate changed. The movies suggest an extensive personal mentorship. In reality, while Ip Man did influence Lee, the young actor received much of his hands-on training from Ip Man's senior student, Wang Shunlong. The films omit his documented struggle with an opium addiction in his later years, and the fact that he had a mistress with whom he had an illegitimate son. As to talk about what the movies got right, a few core elements remain grounded in fact. He did live in Foshan, and eventually moved to Hong Kong to teach Wing Chun to support his family. He genuinely refused to train the Japanese occupying forces during the war. Public teaching. He is credited with being the first person to publicly teach Wing Chun, which helped turn it into a global phenomenon. And yeah, sorry to disappoint you, but the guy also never got shot, nor was such a loving husband. In fact, during the war situation, Ip Man left approximately 3 to 4 years after being permanently separated from his wife. Ip Man began a relationship with a woman from Shanghai, often called Shanghai Po by his students. Ip Man and his partner had a son, Ip Siwa, in Hong Kong. Chung Wing-sing died of cancer in Foshan in 1960, while still legally married to Ip Man, but separated by the border for 9 years.